To Nigeria now, and the United Nations has condemned the killing of a humanitarian worker by a Nigerian soldier at a military base. The suspect also wounded a United Nations helicopter co-pilot. This occurred in the Borno state, northeast of Nigeria. It is unclear what led to the attack. Meanwhile, the UN yesterday released $10 million from the Nigeria Humanitarian Fund to assist flood victims. For more on these two stories, let's go live now to our correspondent in Nigeria, Tesem Akende. Tesem, good afternoon. So let's start with this incident that occurred at this military base. The military coming out with a statement on Thursday and confirming this incident. Since then, any clarity as to what are the circumstances that led to this soldier going on the rampage with such fatal consequences?
Well, looking at what the military authorities are saying, investigation is still ongoing. According to the rules of engagement, the soldier, the errant soldier, was also neutralized by own troops. Now, that was done because, as far as the military hierarchy is concerned, that was done to actually forestall some further damage from happening, because he killed, apart from the UN worker, he also killed a fellow soldier. So it's really, really disheartening, because these humanitarian workers are carrying out a lot of intervention programs here in Nigeria. The insurgency, the over 13-year, or the insurgency that has ravaged several parts of Nigeria for over 13 years has led to millions of people, according to the United Nations, being displaced. Some of them rely on a lot of food assistance. So this happening, it really, really leaves a lot of, the authorities are not happy about it at all. Now, at the moment, it has launched a full-scale investigation to ascertain why this actually happened. And as journalists, we're monitoring closely to see what the investigation will reveal. But at the moment, of course, the United Nations Air Services have suspended their operations indefinitely. This means that, aid may not be getting to some hard-to-reach terrains or some hard-to-get-to environments, which these humanitarian workers have been really doing well at. So it only leaves the authorities here in Nigeria to build more confidence of the humanitarian workers to ensure that these operations can resume and aid can actually get to those who need it very, very soon.
But it's clear, is it not, Tesem, that this was no accidental shooting? And the reason I say it is clear that it wasn't accidental is the phrase that is being used, that after this incident in which the humanitarian worker died and a fellow Nigerian soldier also died, with the UN co-pilot being injured. After that incident, the soldier who had done that shooting was quote-unquote neutralized, basically was killed by members of the Nigerian Defense Force. So we can rule out the possibility of it being an accidental kind of incident.
Well, like I said, investigation is ongoing, and the move or the action by his colleagues, the soldiers, to have done that, I believe it was within the rules of engagement as soldiers. Yes, investigation, like I said, the military hierarchy says investigation is ongoing. Perhaps that might extend to other troops who are fighting the insurgency in Borno State. Borno State is the epicenter of the insurgency here in Nigeria. A lot of troops have been deployed, to that theater over and over. Many of them have been taken round, redeployed and deployed over and over again. So we're watching what the investigation will reveal. As journalists, we can assure you that, yes, we're keeping an eye on that. And should there be developments, we'll be standing by to give you updates accordingly.
And just link that then to the work of the UN in response to the floods and the release of this $10 million. Is there any impact whatsoever in terms of that work, the UN releasing this $10 million to assist with flood relief? Is that in any way impacted in terms of the humanitarian work that's expected to go with that?
Well, this is coming at a very, very good time. A stitch in time, it's often said, saves nine. Nigeria has had what many describe as the flood of the decade. A lot of people have been displaced. Thousands, have been displaced. Many people have died as a result. Farmlands have been washed away, leaving so many people in very, not the best of circumstances. So they are in need of aid, they are in need of food, they are in need of clothing. And to say many of the victims are women and children. So a lot is needed for their health care, a lot is needed for, yes, all around, safety. So this is coming at a time that, yes, it will really, really go a long way. It might not be enough, but of course it's an effort, and we're hoping that it will be used very well, and it will actually get to those intended by the United Nations.
Right, Tesem, thank you for that update. That's our correspondent in Nigeria, Tesem Akende, with an update on two stories. One that has to do with that incident at the military base, the shooting incident that left 2 people dead, as well as the UN releasing $10 million to assist in flood relief.